Hey y'all, it's the Butcher. Welcome to Streaming Matters episode 71. Welcome. I haven't been here in a while. Things that's been going on. I had the flu, and I'm gonna tell you that is no joke. The flu it had me bad. Um, it probably took a good 10 days to feel somewhat better. A good 2 weeks to actually feel somewhat normal. So get your flu shot. I will say, I skipped it this year. I'm half and half on getting the flu shot. I skipped it this year, and I regret it. I had flu strain A, I think is what it was, with double pneumonia. Ugh, I thought for sure. I was like this close to dying. This man flu had my ass whooped, and it got me so quick. And I'm gonna tell you, people, this it's no joke. I was off on I was off on a Friday, and it was a couple weeks back. I was off on Friday, felt a little sick. I laid on the couch the whole day, slept on and off, thinking it's a little bug. I'm gonna get it away. Friday night felt worse. Saturday morning felt horrible. Saturday morning, called my work, says, "Hey, I can't be there. I feel terrible." And I was off Sunday. I didn't leave the couch other than going to bed. Didn't leave the couch Saturday at all the whole day. Slept, I bet you, 22 hours. And so slept 22 hours on Saturday. Sunday, I was just hurting and felt so bad. And I'm thinking, this is right close to to death, I feel like. And I just felt so bad, felt like I wasn't getting better. So I went to the doctor, and they were like, yeah, flu, double pneumonia. Hey, are we going to give you some antibiotics? And hit me up with antibiotics, and I brought antibiotics home. Oh, I will tell you, it was no joke. I was out of work, and I never miss work, folks. I never. My people will, any of my employees will tell you, I might miss a day here, day there. And usually, if I miss a day, I swap a day. I'll say, hey, can you work for me this day? I'll work your day. I was out 6 days. And it was, oh, yeah. But so, yeah, get your flu shot. It wasn't the coronavirus. I hadn't been to China, and I hadn't had no Chinese food, so I felt like I was pretty safe there. But hey, everybody, thanks for joining in. Hey, Tim, Mandy, what's up? Redneck, Michael, I see Michael's over there in the chat. Mr. Dave, Fanerific, what's up? What's up? Izzy from the Great White North. Hey, bud. Peter, Donnie. Hey, Bob, what's up? How y'all doing? Bass, one of my regulars, always on the always watching the show. So we're going to go through a few things right now. Right now, I'm the only person. I will send a couple messages out, or a couple links to a few people. See if they show, see if they don't show. It is what it is. What it is what it is. We'll go with it. Maybe it'll be a short show. I'll try to talk about a few subjects. One of the first things that I did mention in the what my thought was about talking about in the show, because I was actually going to do a video, and I think I talked about it a few shows back, about WAKO. WAKO had changed quite a bit since I had done a video 8 months ago. And I actually had made a video, I think in November, December. I made a video, didn't really like it. I didn't release it. I actually made about 3 videos, didn't like any of them. So I just put it on the back burner and just ignored it. I turned off Discord, because if you've ever had Discord and it hits you up with these messages. So I basically made it to it wasn't coming on automatically, and I wasn't getting those notifications all the time. So the developer of Wacko had sent me a message back in November and asked me to remove some of my videos due to they weren't relevant any longer. That what I had made 8-9 months ago was not relevant now. And so I installed Wacko on Knox to look at it today. I was going to talk about it. And noticed that many things had changed. So what it seems like is that he's removed a lot of the content that was directly integrated into the APK that allowed you to get content. Because it had the last videos that I had done that I didn't release, you actually could launch this from the sources at the time. You could actually pull the sources, the links, the scrape, however you want to call it. It would scrape itself, and you could actually launch a particular link on your device or send it to your Kodi device, whichever way you want to do that. And you could do it that way, or you could do it the way that it was first set up, where it would launch into Open Meta or another add-on and launch that particular video that you're wanting to see onto your Kodi device if you have that set up, and it would launch and it would play. That stuff is gone. What he has got now is you can link it into Open Meta or Aliniminium, however you want to say that. Which that's part of, like, if you've messed with Gaia, you'll see that is one of the options in there. You can link to one of those two, and it seems like that's it for what I can see. The developer has removed. I don't see him on Discord any longer. There is no way to contact him via email. No Telegram stuff, and so there's very few options to reach him. And I'm guessing off the top of my head, when I saw that and I saw the changes, I'm assuming, and again, I have no idea. I'm just assuming by making those changes, maybe he was getting some heat back from MPAA, from Ace, or whoever was getting some heat back for the options he had to launch directly. So what he's done is he stepped back and he's taken a approach that Kodi has, which means he's going to create a platform that is completely legit. Nothing wrong with it. It's completely legit, straight up APK. And if you want to install third-party items, that is up to you, and that responsibility is onto you if those third parties are harmful or pull content that shouldn't pull content. So he's taking the approach, it seems like, as Kodi has, where Kodi gives you the platform and allows third parties or third-party developers to create an add-on to put on there, so that there has that separation. He doesn't endorse any of the third-party plugins, add-ons that may go into this. So it seems like he's got a different approach. So I'm gonna have to look at that. I thought I would show a little bit of that on today's show. Show you what it's kind of what it has right now, and how you can make it work like it did a little bit before. More like the first video I did, not like the video that I never released, where you had a whole lot more options. So I'll show you a little bit of that. We'll also talk about pulling Kodi libraries. I did a Trakt video and released it, I don't know, a month back or so, that showed you how to link your how to use Trakt and to make lists on Trakt. And you can add, and I think that Trakt is such a neat idea, because you're able to almost make your own add-on without having to go through the hassle. You can create these lists and you can pull that into your Kodi and use it. And so that's a great idea. And I'm going to show you a little bit about some options for libraries, because that was some of the questions that people had, was could they link their Kodi library to Trakt? And I have found a couple add-ons that does it. So we're going to show that. Let me roll down here. I had rolled up on this on the chat here. So let me see if there's some chat going on that I may, some comments. AA, what's up? How you doing, bud? Peter, I see Peter's joined in the chat on the side. Wayne has jumped in the chat on the side. DJ Themes has jumped in there. Hey, guy. Giorgio, hey, how you doing? Now, so a lot of the people that I have seen that been following me, that's friends of mine. Thanks for you guys joining. Perks, what's up, bud? Anybody that would like to join the show, let me know, and I will try to keep. Okay, Perks has sent me a message, so I'll send him it, and we'll just see who jumps in here, and we will take a look at some of that, some of these different things. Let me crank my Knox Android emulator on my device here on my computer so that I'm able to show it, because I feel like it's easier for me to show this Android instead of trying to show it on the phone or show it on the TV. You're able to see it this way, and I'll try to show a little bit of the Wacko, how it works, what you're able to do with it right now. I'm not going to give it a full video, but I'll give you an idea of how some of that works right now. I hope everybody's doing good. We're also going to talk about Oscar movies. So, having your head Oscar movie stuff, kind of be thinking about the goods and bads of some of that. So, that's one of the subjects we're going to talk about today. DJ, you use EIM, and yes, EIM does work with your library, and that is one of the options. I'm not going to talk about. I could do the open meta and show you how to pull in your libraries. You are able to do that. There's just a couple add-ons I'm going to show on this, but yes, you can use the open meta or EIM or metallic for queued. And I know I'm forgetting a couple others that's off the top of my head, the metallic forks that you're able to do that. You're able to link to a Trakt list. And I was actually going to talk about Venom, and I'm going to talk about Jarrell. Those two do a pretty good job of pulling in that. And you can actually pull in some of these APKs, folks. If you're an APK user, some APKs allow you to link your Trakt. Now, depending on the APK, some will do a better job of giving you your lists. Some don't give you such a good job of getting your lists. Some will just jam them all together. I have seen numerous ones. I didn't really find any that I really like, because I'm not an APK user myself, but you can do it. You can link your Trakt to your APKs if it's something that you like, and you can see what it works. So I just don't really find those to be as useful in pulling the library. The library feature in Kodi is so good. I really love the library, especially for TV shows. You can see, and if you set it up correctly, you can have it telling you what shows you haven't watched and stuff like that. So, hey, Patty, how you doing? Thanks for joining the show or jumping on the side chat. Dwayne, how you doing? Matrix, what's up? How you doing, bud? All right, I'm going to glance over here at, okay. And one of the things that we're also going to talk about in the show is the cord cutting numbers. I think that people would be surprised, or maybe you won't be surprised, because most of us are cord cutters, and we have an understanding how that some of the numbers are pretty substantial. And I think that cable companies, satellite companies, are really are having to take notice of some of this. And when I talk about some of these numbers, and if you start to think about them, I think you're going to be real surprised at some of these numbers, that how cord cutting and options are really how impactful it is right now. So I was looking to make sure that nobody is trying to jump in, because with StreamYard, one of the things is when I share my screen and I'll go to the other stuff, I won't see them jump in the chat over here. And that makes it difficult. I can't actually add them to the show. So let's see. Okay. See, Perks devices are not connected is what it says. Up. Okay. What's up, Perks? I don't hear you. Up, there you are. How you doing, Perks?
Hey, bud, how's it going?
Going well. What you in the car?
I am.
All right. That's what I was thinking. This was a Bluetooth piece. How's life treating you?
Not bad. Can you not hear me well on it?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
What do you got your daughter in the car? Is that what I heard?
Heck yeah. The whole
All
fam.
right. Oh, the whole fam. Look at there. We got the whole fam. One of the things that people said, Redneck says 2 years without cable has saved him a ton of money. And Dwayne says 240 full package per month with internet. Most people that are paying for the full package of cable TV right now, and that is with the TV option and internet, are paying anywhere on the low end $200 as in excess of $300. And then if you're a person that is a Hulu or a Netflix person, that is even more. Up, I'm getting a reverb off of your Perks. Hey Juggernaut, how you doing, bud? Okay. Yeah, there for a second, Perks, it was like I was hearing myself. So yeah, and cord cutting is really, really big. So I'm going to go into that at some point here soon. So Perks, what's been going on with you? I'll while you're in the car, before I open up Mr. Wacko and go through all that. You're on mute. Perks. Well, Perks is on mute. Maybe his family's having a meltdown in the car. Wife is like, who the hell is that redneck talking on the phone? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen here, folks. Let me open up Kodi over here. Hold on a second. Let me let Kodi open. Sorry. There you go, Perks. I heard you for a second. Nor wants to know where's my Valentine's dance. No Valentine's dance today, folks. Not today. Maybe in a few weeks. There you go. That's about as good as it's gonna get. Diana, how you doing, bud? Or my dear? I shouldn't say bud. So, Perks, what's been going on with you? What's new? Oh, he still has us on mute. So hold on a second. All right, folks, let me open up. Okay. Okay, here's everything's going on here. All right. So let me make that the big screen. All right. So I'm assuming everybody can see my screen. Let me look in there. Anybody in the chat, let me know that you can see this. Does everything look? Were you able to see this? My desktop, since I can't hear from Perks. Anybody? Everybody, let's see. Noir.
You getting feedback?
I was for a minute, but that's gone away. So can you hear me? No? Okay. All right. So, all right, Perks, I keep adding you, pulling you in, out. It's Valentine's Day. Okay. So I'm going to go. Let me jump over here to my screen. Okay. So, Noir. French accent. Noir. That's as good as you get for French for me. All right. So let's go over here. This would be my Android. Let's pretend this is my Android phone. And then I've got Kodi over here. Let's open up Wacko. Make sure I got this turned on right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go into settings. We're just gonna go into settings first because it kind of you're able to get an idea of where they've changed some of this stuff. I've already linked in my Trakt account. It's pretty simple. When you come into here, you won't see that Trakt will not be. It won't. It'll say log on, and you'll go log on. And if I'm not mistaken, it gave me a code, and then I put that into Trakt authorization or activate, and basically it links the Wacko APK into my Trakt, so it's able to pull my lists. And then you'll see these are some shows that I have on my list. Well, I don't even know why some of this. No, these aren't even in my shows. This must be most played daily. Okay, so this is stuff that's people are watching right now. So my shows. All right. So this would be shows that I have watched. Trakt knows that I have watched these shows, so it would have it on here. So I'm gonna go. Let's go back into the settings. One of the things that was changed is the configure button, which before you were able to Elementium, you were able to open it by that, and then you could open by Open Meta, but also it gave the option of about 10 add-ons. I remember Numbers was in there. I know Saren was in there. I know Gaia was in there. I think Venom was in there. Most of your main big name add-ons were in there that they had submitted and got put into it, but the developer has removed those, so you don't have that option any longer. Also, it had the option of to pull the links directly, which is gone now. And if I probably I want to say no, it's not in there. It used to have a play where you'd pull the scrapers. One of the things you need to do with this, and I'll quickly try to go through this, is configure your hosts. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to go over here to your Kodi device. And you want to be on the same network. Now, one can't be wired and one be on Wi-Fi. They need to both be on the Wi-Fi. Okay. So I'm going to go to System. And I believe, okay, one of the things you're going to want to know is under Summary, you're going to want to know your IP address. So mine, you can see it's an internal IP address because I'm on a network. And you're going to want to go to Services. And one of the things you're going to want to do is turn on remote control via HTTP. You're going to want to turn that on. And then you can also turn this, since I'm on the computer, I'm on the same computer, I can use this. But if you were on your phone and you had Kodi set up on your Android device, your Fire Stick or whatever, you'd want to turn this on because you'd be allowing remote control from applications outside of what's on that system. So you'd want to have that on. So basically you turn this on, just leave it alone. And all you would do is add would normally be here. You hit add and you put in, let me see, I'll just hit. And what it does here, I hit skip and I'm able to hit and add. You'll put a name in here, you put the IP address, leave it the same. If you have the correct information, this will become green. Right now it's red because I don't have nothing in there. But if you put in the correct information, it will turn green. But I've already got that in there, but it's pretty simple. You leave all you're going to want to do is put your IP address in there. As long as you got to have this HTTP in, you want to have these turned on, and you need to be on the same network. Meaning, if you are on Wi-Fi, both your phone and your Android device, your Kodi device, has to be on the same network. One can't be on 2.5 or 2.4 and one on the 5.0 if you have a dual band modem or router. It has to be on the same one. You can't have one wired and one not wired. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you. So I'm just going to go to a movie. Now, what I have done with mine is I actually added Open Meta to mine. Okay, so I'm going to show you on this. Let's see, back this up. So I've allowed it, and I will show you I have Open Meta installed on here. See it right here. Okay, there's my Open Meta. One of the things I did with Open Meta for me, and this is again, Open Meta, you can link to quite a few add-ons. On mine, I actually told it what I wanted it to play. You can hit default players, and it will choose just that one default player. If you have this, if I had left this blank, it will give me the option of which add-on I want to open that particular link with. I chose Saren, so let me just turn this off. Let's do this. I'm going to turn it to none. None. Okay? So you can see that it says none down here. So we're going to go back here. I have this open. If Open Meta is installed, always use it. All right, let's go over here to movies. Let's go to Parasite. Good movie. Before, it used to have sources, and you can see he's giving you the option of being able to add some sources, but you need some information, you need some URLs and stuff like that. But so I'm just going to go with play through Kodi right here. And you notice over here, this is like your remote. You notice Open Meta has opened on my Kodi device, and it's asking me what particular add-on do I want to open and to play Parasite. And these are plugins that Open Meta has, and I have that add-on installed. You must have the add-ons. This will only show you add-ons that you have installed, and it has a player for it. If you don't have it installed, it will not list it. If you don't have Saren installed, it will not be on your list. If you don't have Death Star, it will not be on the list. So it's only your list will look different than mine because you have different add-ons installed than me. And it's asking me which one of these things do I want to play or look for. It's going to look for that particular movie. I'm going to tell it Saren. Now, Saren is set up for autoplay, so I'm going to stop it as immediately. And I have Real to Brit is configured on this device, on this setup. You can see it's going through here, pulling it. And right now, it's got just a couple. These are always the last two. All right, and I'll stop it. There you can see it pulled that. It pulled the 4K version. And again, if you don't have, it depends on how you have Saren set up. And there you saw it played. So that's basically, now I could have used this as the remote, but you see how I told it on Wacko to open it. It opened it over here using Open Meta. So you'd have to have Open Meta installed. You'd have to have some of those add-ons. If Open Meta has numerous plugins or players, so if you have a certain particular player or a certain add-on, it's very good chance if it's a popular add-on, it's probably has a player. If not, you can ask the developer and they may be able to get it submitted to Open Meta. So you can still use this to launch on Kodi. You're not able to unless you install some other sources to watch it on your device, because there for a while you could watch the particular video you wanted on your device. But again, the developer has stepped back and said, you know what, I'm going to create a platform. And then if other people want to create a third-party plugin to work with my platform, they can, but I'm not responsible for that. Okay, so he's not responsible, and that's where I think he's doing, again, like Kodi has done. Kodi gives you the platform. If people want to make third-party add-ons, they can. So very neat little thing. It links to your Trakt account. So if you have, and if you think about this, if this is on your phone, real easy to scroll through this stuff. And if you're looking for a certain show, you click it, and you can. Where does it get? Why ain't it giving me more seasons on this one? That's weird. Should give me more in a season. Let me see. I used to watch that all the time. What about Russian Doll? Okay, so see, you see, he's got season 1. You'd click it, boom, you'd hit this. Play on Kodi, and again, it should open up over here the option for Open Meta to ask me what add-on I want to use. Hit that. It's being a little wonky there. That's weird. Huh. So let's try this. Okay, let's see. You're not connected to Kodi through. Okay, so there was some kind of issue with linking into my Kodi. And you can see here's my options. Cancel that. So again, a pretty cool app. You're able to do some things, not everything that we were able to do previous. And the only thing I can guess is he probably gotten some issues. Let me go through here. Tim says, "Where are your moderators?" I don't have any moderators. Nobody's a moderator tonight. So, hey Chuck, what's up? Let me take a look at Telegram. Perk says he's sorry. He's having some issues with feedback. Kids in the background. Sure, it was loud. It wasn't loud. I was hearing me more than I was hearing anything else. So the WAKO app, I think it has a lot of options or a lot of promise. It's really neat if you think about it to have. You can have that on your phone, scroll through what you're wanting to watch and hit it and it plays instead of having to use your remote, type in what show you want to watch. Again, you decide if that's something that is helpful to you, that you find can work and be a benefit. And I do know one thing that people complained about over the last few months is that the developer of Wacko put in a pop-up for requesting donations. And I know when I first used it, the first time it did it, it held it for like 30 seconds or 20 seconds, something like that. It held it for a while. And it would sit there saying, if you want to help with the project, you can donate. And it sat there and you could not come off the screen for that, whatever it was, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever it was. Then after that, if it popped up, you could back up off of that donation link, that little nag screen that some people call it. Again, to me, he's putting a lot of work into this. If he wants to request donations, that's up to him. If people want to donate, that's up to them. But it gave, I know that there was several people that really, that complained about that nag screen. And I can see if it hung there. I know when I first saw it, it hung there every time I opened it, but then he changed it to where it would only do it one time, and then you could pop up off of it if it came up. So we'll see. That is available through the Google Play Store. You can do a search for it, and it'll be Wacko, WAKO, and it's like the developer is Jean, Jean. I can't remember. I know it's Jean something, but I know that that. So you'll be able to look for, when you look for it, you're going to know the icon, but you're also going to see is Jean. Maybe start with a B. Bashto. So if you want to check that out, doesn't hurt to check it out. Again, it's free to use. Check it out, see how it works. Little bit of configuration on your Kodi device. I was showing you on my computer. Just make sure, the main thing is when you set it up that it should turn green. When you put that information, your IP address, it should turn green. Back up. If it doesn't turn green, it stays red. Back up out of the add-on or the APK and go back into it and see if it turns green. Sometimes when I first would enter it, it used to stay red, even though I know my information was correct. I would close the app, go back in, and then it would turn green. So you need it to be green so that it would work. Oh, there we go. There we go. I saw you doing it.
You almost caught me.
Yeah, I did catch it. I did catch it.
Just for a millisecond, though.
Yeah,
I was being silly.
Short ones. People will go back and watch it, and they'll keep backing up. So is this an app just for Android? If I'm not mistaken, it was on the Apple Store. It was in the Apple Store for a while. I don't at one point I remember Apple was going to remove it. So I don't know if they still removed it, but I know that it was going to be in the Apple store. He was working on it. Then there was some Apple wasn't too happy with it, so they were going to pull it out. So I don't know if it's still there, but I know it is definitely in the Google Play Store. What's up, Jizz Planet? And I hadn't installed any of the stuff from Jizz Planet, and I installed and was using his APK and tried to use it on my Shield, and it just didn't work so well on the Shield. It was. I posted. I asked him a question on Twitter about that, and he said no, he doesn't have anything to test with, so he's not able to set it up to be remote friendly. Okay, Dwayne, my build link. You can look it up. It's nothing fancy. It's nothing. It's very simple, very minimal. So if you look up thebutcher.org/repo, if you put that in there, you can get my wizard. And I'm DAX, DAX. I have an 18 and a 17. You can use either one of those two and go with it. So what's up with you, Mr. Ed B?
Not much. Been doing some traveling lately. Went to Chicago for a while with my daughter on a little trip, college related, and just chilling right now. In fact, they're on another trip. Her mom is bringing her up to Boston this weekend. So yeah, Valentine's Day, and I'm stagging it. But it's game night. I got my gear on.
I was just getting ready to say, is that a Hurricanes jersey?
It is. It is the actual, the actual jersey. CCM, good stuff.
Yeah.
So, no, I've just been doing the usual. Kodi. I haven't tried Wacko, so I assume you were talking about that because I was not watching from the beginning.
Oh my gosh! Oh, my guests don't even watch. That's okay.
I've heard, it's a really neat app, and I've got to try it. So,
yeah.
Kind of slacking on that. I've been busy with some other things. Doing my thing with the crew. And I'm not one of the devs. I'm just, one of the admin guys who just helps out in there. And but they're doing some awesome stuff as usual.
It's definitely one of my go-tos. I actually used it. My IPTV had an issue, not last UFC, the UFC before. My IPTV was having some issues, and I ended up going to Crew and using it, and worked fine. Now, again, the quality was probably 480 compared to my IPTV with 720, but 720 that's buffering is not going to do you any good. I'll take a 480 that's playing just fine than a 720 that's going to keep locking up.
Yeah, I hear you, man. When they first came out, it was baseball season, and excuse me, I had to I almost knocked something over. I have one of those low shelves under my desktop, and I just almost yanked over a battery charger. So yeah, I was having issues with my IPTV service at the time, and my paid service, I was not able to watch games, and the Crew had them.
They're doing a good job with the built-in scrapers for sports. I mean, and if you look at it, it'll updates pretty regular where they're pulling and it's scraping. I tell people all the time, if you don't have a service it's definitely one of the ones you want to have as an option. Us cutting cords, cutting the cable, and streaming, you got to have more than one option. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. You put all your eggs in one basket and you're going to get your feelings hurt. So it's good to have several options that if this goes down, boom, I can go to this. And I had friends over for that UFC fight. It was the McGregor fight, I think. And sure enough, I've got friends over here, and they're all this playing fine. All of a sudden, starts to spinning. I'm like, don't. I'll back up and go back in. Start to play, and then spin. I'm like, ugh. And I was like, oh. And they're like, oh, is this that great IPTV stuff? And I'm like, yeah, let me show you. Click, click, click. And I'm like, boom, bang. And then I started. I found that a link on the crew. Boom, it's playing. So I was like, hey, yeah. I like no harm, no foul, and it is, so. Definitely have options, and I know that Death Star. I know they had a bunch of stuff on there.
Yeah, Mad Titan, the Loop, Go To. There's Retribution Sport. There's a lot of good sports add-ons out there, and a lot of them are starting to go to scrapers because that's the hardest thing to do in Kodi is all those live sports links. It's a pain if you're doing it manually, and they're developing scrapers to actually automate a lot of that, and it's some really incredible work they're doing. Not just the crew, but other guys out there doing it.
Because if you think about it, all right, and to let people know that some of the folks, you and I know how that works, but for people that may not understand it, so if you don't have a scraper, you've got to get those links manually. So you would have to be on your computer, and you would go to a certain website. There's plenty of sports streaming websites. You would have to go to one of those sports streaming websites and then go to whatever event that you're wanting to put on your add-on, and you'd have to click it, and you'd have to get where the actual link is coming from. And you would capture that link, and there's a few different ways of doing it, but you'd have to get the URL. Then you would go into your XML or your text document for your add-on, write event, or however you want to call it, put an icon, and then you'd put that URL, save it. Then anybody using your add-on would see event, and then they would click that link and it would play. So what ended up happening is, in the past, people would have to go and get a link, make it, and put it on their add-on, get the link, put it in their add-on, get a link. And those links go up and down all the time. And it's a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot of work, and those links, they can die in a minute as soon as they start getting hammered. So it's a lot of work. So if you can build a scraper which will go to that website and look through it and say your event, let's look for the Carolina Hurricanes, and it says the Hurricanes game, and then it looks through all those links for that website, and it grabs those things and then automatically puts it into the add-on and says link 1, link 2, or however they name it, and links, and you could click it and it plays. It's a whole lot easier than going, like I said, manually on your computer, get the link URL, put it in your add-on, get the URL, put it in your add-on, and then update or refresh it so that your users could use it. So yeah, I do like it, and you see it updating all the time. I see that their add-on updates, the scripts update almost daily, if not every other day. Every time I turn on my device, I see the crew is updating something where they've tweaked it and changed it, which is very promising. That's very promising.
And, there was an update today where we had gotten input from Mr. AAAA about the weight of the artwork module, and so one of the hats, the purple one, went in and resized all those images and knocked it almost in half. So it's got less of a footprint on your box, and that should be great for Fire Sticks, where space is always at a premium. So yeah, we're the guys are always, trying to make it better, taking requests and fixing things, and yeah, it's a good group. They're doing good work every day. Maybe not every single day, but going back to the whole sports thing, one thing I'm seeing, which is really encouraging, is with some of the major events, like McGregor fight, the Super Bowl, a lot of those big events, I noticed a lot of the different devs were like helping each other out. Like, hey, I got tons of links. You want to throw them in your add-on, and vice versa. And that's really good to see, the cooperation, the community,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
helping each other out, so that our users are all happy.
Yeah, and it's better to spread the load too, and you don't want everybody on one or two links because it's gonna crash. The traffic is too much traffic, and it's gonna cause it to link. So the more you spread out that love and the load, the better it is for everybody. And there is a lot of, I do see the same thing. I see a lot of people helping each other in a lot of different ways. Eh, We used to see a lot of drama and a lot of fighting, infighting, and da 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 da. There's a little bit of that, but I don't think you see it as much as we used to see it. I think everybody's ego has gotten more in check, and looking at the big picture,
Right.
that it's not worth the fighting. Because guess what?
Yeah.
99% of the people are making nothing off of this. They're doing it just because they want to help. So,
Exactly.
it's so I think that the ego stuff is really eased up, and I think that that's helped people to help each other, and not, who cares if that guy's got links? If you got links and he's got links, you really don't want to be the only add-on out there, because you become too big of a target. And
Exactly.
I do like that with the crew, I don't know who any of them are, and I really don't want to know who they are. In the past, some of us would know who certain devs were of certain add-ons. You knew that this guy worked on this add-on. This guy worked on this add-on. Now, with the crew, you don't. Blue hat, black hat, white hat, purple hat. That's all. That's all they are. And guess what? It's for the best. It's really for the best to be that way. To have that. To be a bit disguised, or have that that limit to knowing who people are. It's better for everybody.
Yeah.
So I think it's
And
good.
as much as people would like to get credit and attaboys and pats on the back, I think in the end, knowing the climate out there, that these guys decided that it was more important to keep doing what they love and making people happy, and keeping anonymous, or as
Yeah.
anonymous as possible,
Yeah.
so that they can keep doing it.
Right.
And I've seen some other groups who've been through some things, doing similar things, and that's great. I mean, that's the way to go, man. And I'll just say right now, um, the crew, we are not on Facebook. We do not have a Facebook group. We do not have a YouTube channel. We do not
Yeah.
have a Twitter feed. The only place you're going to find us is on Telegram. And if you want to throw out my @Todd, feel free. If anybody would like support for the add-on, or like to make suggestions, or just shoot the shit with us, which is what we do half the time anyway, hit me up for an invite, and I'll add you. But yeah, we're not out there, flashing neon billboards. Come to the crew. We're the best. We're just trying to stay low key, off the target range, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and making people happy if possible.
Yep. So yeah, it's the best. It's for the best. It's for the best that it happens like that. So let me ask about this. So before we go into the library stuff, and I will talk about that momentarily. So have you watched? So have you watched many of the Oscar movies?
Some of them.
Okay. I mean, we only have the option to watch in every single Oscar movie. So yeah, I know how most of us are like, "Hey, have you watched anything?" "Oh, I don't remember the last time I watched. I was doing other stuff." So
Yeah.
so out of any of the movies that you saw of this Oscar season, was there anything that you really liked?
I really liked 1917.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just me. I'm a history buff, and I like period timepiece movies, and I thought that was just really well done. man, you felt like you were back in 1917, and then the whole nonstop camera work was just
That
amazing.
that to me was the most engaging, the thing that held me more than anything. I can't wait to watch that in 4K because I think that it's going to be a beautiful. I mean, I saw it in 1080; it would look good. I can't wait to see the colors in 4K. But the nonstop filming, the second time I watched it, I looked for the cuts, like the film, like where they stop filming and then would restart because movies are, it's like you're filming this person and you're filming this person, boom, boom, boom. That movie, the camera just like turns and they're going here, and then the camera just rotates. Like when he got in the truck. Remember when he gets in the truck? Once they're on the other side of and the
Yeah.
cameraman gets into the truck. Now it's a closed in, like troop carrier, big old truck from World War I. But there's other soldiers in there. The camera kind of gets into the truck. You see the guy get in and sit down. The camera pans and he's watching them, and they talk for a while, and that. It gets to a point where he has to get back out of the truck. He gets out of the truck. The camera comes right back out. Never stops. And I'm thinking, all the stuff, the dialogue and all the stuff that had to happen so well. I'm sure there was cuts, but they did such a great job with the cuts. You don't even notice them. So yeah, I definitely think that was, it won cinematography, which I called that as soon as I saw it. I said that deserves cinematography, and I felt it deserved director. I thought that those two things. I didn't think it was film of the year. I thought it was a good movie. I didn't think film of the year, but I thought those two things, and it won cinematography. So yeah, good movie. What about, I see Mr. Fire TV Guru? What, bud? He brought up Parasite. Did you watch Parasite?
I did not yet, but that's in my list. I've heard good things about it. Looking forward to that.
Yep. When Blue was here there at Christmas, we watched it. So we sit down, and I'm not going to give a bunch of spoilers on the movie. So I'm like, let's watch Parasite. I saw a lot of buzz about it, and it was like on the tops of the torrent downloads and this and that. And I was like, we need to watch it. She goes, I don't like scary movies. I don't like, bug movies and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, well, I said, you're here with me. If it's scary, you'd be close to me. We'll be fine. She's like, fine, we'll watch it. Completely different from what I expected. I'm not a fan of having to read the whole time, but I was willing to read the whole time because it's in Korean and it's not dubbed. So you just got the subtitles. You have to read the whole time. Very, very good movie. Very different from what I expected of a movie. From what I expected of that movie. Completely different. I definitely thought it was definitely foreign film of the year for sure. It won picture of the year, and it won director of the year. Okay. I mean, I can't argue with that because I found the movie to be very good. And the storyline, it also won screenplay, which I'll agree with that. I thought that the screenplay was, you didn't know where that movie was going. And it just did a phenomenal job. So Parasite, I will definitely tell people, watch Parasite. A couple of other movies, Ford versus Ferrari. Even if you're not a car person, but if you are a car person, it's against history because it's based on true story of Shelby joining Ford to make a supercar to make a really fast race car. Joker, which what's it? Joaquin Phoenix won Actor of the Year. Again, like the movie, don't like the movie, doesn't matter. I thought Joaquin did a great job in the movie. I thought Joaquin, I mean, I thought he did a phenomenal job that I bought into his character. Some people said, the movie sucked. I didn't buy in the character. Fine. You like the movie, not like the movie. It wasn't a Batman movie because it wasn't. But I thought he did a great job in it. The other movie that I hated that I truly, truly hated was that Adam Sandler's movie, Uncut Gem.
Oh yeah.
Hated the movie. I hated the movie. I hated the movie. But I will say, and people can argue it, that Adam Sandler played a great, great part because I hated him in that movie. I truly, I hated his guts in that movie. I'm like, you are such a sleazeball. You are a just piece of, just a POS. To me, if a character creates that in you, they've done their part as an actor. The movie itself sucks. The music is too loud. The storyline is but the director and the music that they did, for whatever reason, the director lost his brain on the music is way too loud for the movie, and it like overshadows the movie, and the music doesn't even fit. But the movie itself sucked. But Adam Sandler's the only thing that I'll say that was great. Adam Sandler himself, his part was good.
That's
So
kind of surprising.
yeah, I mean, he plays completely different from he's completely different character from what he normally plays. So, so people can check that out again. I can't say the movie was good, but I'll say Adam Sandler did a good job in playing a 180-degree turn from the movie of his normal character. He's a completely different guy in that movie. So Redneck says Ford versus Ferrari, very good, very good. Jojo Rabbit. What about that? You seen Jojo Rabbit?
No.
All right, so yeah, you can tell he's a Kodi guy. He's seen no movies. Seen no movies. Jojo Rabbit, a movie I was not going to watch because I'm like, first of all, Jojo Rabbit sounds like a little kid movie. Number one in my head, I'm thinking that's got to suck. Second of all, I knew it was something about World War II and Hitler and kids, so right there, I was like, I don't want to hear about brainwashing little kids into being Nazis and World War II and I Hitler. I don't care about none of that stuff. I don't want to watch it. But as I saw more and more talk about that movie, I went and watched it, and that movie was really good. It was funny, lighthearted. The director is actually the guy that plays Hitler. So if you watch the movie, that is the director. He does a phenomenal job. The movie is funny and witty, lighthearted. Some of the jokes in it they're a little off color when they're talking about Jews, and it's like, all right, so there's like the little kids are being crooned to be Nazis, and they're like, oh, so how do you know a Jew? And they're like, oh, that's easy. They all got horns. And then the one woman's like, exactly. That's how you can tell a Jew. And I was cracking up because I'm like, who the hell would think of that like that? I mean, they got horns. So it's a lighthearted, it's joking. So Jojo Rabbit, I would say, good movie to watch. It's not. I mean, it is about war, but there's some of the stuff in it. The director is he is really funny when you see the one guy, some of the outfits that some of them wear, especially near the end of the movie when the Americans are coming into town. It cracks up. Let's see. Sandman asks, did I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? It was okay. I'll give it a 6.5, 7. It was all right. Wasn't what I expected. I was expecting more of a. I was expecting the Mansons movie. You know, it was going to be a Manson and murders and this and that. It does a lot of tongue in cheek of Hollywood at the time. So, an aspect I liked it. It definitely was not a horrible movie. I don't know if Brad Pitt would win Supporting Actor of the Year. Not in my count. I didn't think he deserved. I thought that would probably. I liked the Two Popes. He's a big actor. Oh shoot, from Two Popes. He was up for nomination for supporting actor. I felt he did a better job than Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt did all right, but the movie itself was okay. His part was okay. I think it's because it was Brad Pitt is why he won. You know, handsome looking guy. And, but the movie is okay. Not bad. Let's
Yeah, it
see.
was cool. I saw that one.
Huh?
I saw that one too. That was pretty decent. I mean, it wasn't
Yeah.
anything too fantastic, but it was a good watch.
Yeah.
Midway was good.
Midway
Just
was
saw
good.
that last night.
The only thing about Midway, to me, I'm not a history buff. And again, history was not my strong point. So I got a little bit confused when they were jumping from battles to battles. To me, it wasn't easy for me to follow from this battle to this battle to this battle. It to me, I'm like, oh, did this all happen within a couple weeks? I didn't know the timeline, like how long it took from Pearl Harbor to Midway. That to me was a little bit confusing because maybe I wasn't as much. So
Yeah, they kind of skipped through or just glossed through a few parts to get to Midway from Pearl Harbor. But they did talk a little bit about the Coral Sea and all that, but they didn't really get too much into it. But yeah, that was like months and months between one and the other. So
yeah,
it made it seem like it was just, like in a week,
yeah, it didn't seem long. I was like, how long did it take him to get there? So, but it was a good movie. Very pretty. It was pretty. I thought
the actor who plays Bjorn Ironside in Vikings, I was excited to see him in that. And then, no, I'm not going to give away any spoilers.
Okay, yeah,
but it was like almost a cameo appearance. It was like,
yeah.
I was looking for him to have a big part in that.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. Diana said she fell asleep during Jojo Rabbit. I don't know. I thought it was funny. I watched Bombshell 2 nights ago. I liked it. The only thing, whenever something gets political nowadays, I wonder who's making the movie and how much is it actually true and how much is slanted towards the right or the left. So to me, it was based. The storyline is about Fox and how they were for sexual harassment and all the stuff that was going on at Fox News as it built itself up, and the sexual harassment going on. I wondered how much of that was true and how much was made up. Now, some of the stuff was true, especially when they talked about Trump and they talked about in that. I remember it. And I'm like, I forgot all about that. But I did. I liked the movie. I wouldn't have gave it. I wouldn't put it up there for winning an Oscar or anything like that. I thought it was a good movie. Have you seen that?
It's on my list.
Okay. All right. So Bombshell.
And I got some catching up.
That's cool. That's cool. Look at Eddie says. Eddie says my sons worked on Midway. So hey, that's cool. So you had some family that actually worked on it. That's cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It was good. The effects were great. The filming was really, really terrific. The sets were really amazing.
And you got that when the battle scenes are going on. I mean, you're nervous and you're kind of tense, when they're doing the battles and they're flying and dog fights. You're kind of like, ugh. My stomach was kind of like in a knot. So one of the other movies that I watched this year, Two Popes. I would suggest people watch Two Popes. Very good movie if you're not a big religious person. Really good story about the popes and how some of the history happened in this last was it Pope Francis? Is that Pope Francis now or is Pope Francis before? But it's about it's actually pretty good. And Dynamite with Eddie Murphy. I actually found that to be pretty good. It's a funny movie. I'd give it about a 7.5. I enjoyed watching it. And it was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. Donnie mentions The Marriage Story. Okay. And I'm going to give you a bit from me. I'm going to give you a bit from Dabs. I've been involved in a divorce in the last couple of years. I watched half of Marriage Story and I got so pissed off I had to stop watching it. No lie. So mad. I was my gut started to turn when they were doing the negotiations and the lawyers, this and that. So a little too close. It hit a little too close to home. Maybe in a couple years I could watch that movie and be a little bit more objective and it not bother me so much. The movie itself was seeming to go all right, but then some of the stuff was going on. It just hit a little too close to home. So I got halfway through and I turned it off. And I ain't lying. I was just kind of pissed. I was pissed and I was like, so I stopped watching it.
Oh, The Gentleman. Yeah. Lee says The Gentleman. Now that's one that I want to watch too. And how is he in the chat room and not on the screen? That's what I want to know.
I haven't seen
Mr.
Noir. The Gentleman is not available yet in a good quality. I won't watch TS or I won't watch Cam, so it's not available yet. When it does, that's definitely on my list to watch. I will look for that. Irishman. Donnie mentions The Irishman. Yeah, I mean, I love Goodfellas. I liked, The Sopranos. I liked all these gangster type movies. I really, really loved them. That movie, it was all right. It dragged, and maybe I need to go back and rewatch it. But it dragged along until close to the end. Near the end, the last half hour was really great. I think that the storyline and some of the twists and turns was great. I was waiting for Goodfellas, and it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed that they brought the Jimmy Hoffa story into the Mafia because that was a big part of that whole time and era. My only problem with that movie was I wish they would have done something different, and I don't mean any sacrilegious statement because those actors are all like icons that played them. It would have been nice to like maybe have some of the up and coming actors play them in their younger years in the earlier scenes because it was kind of tough to watch a 70 how old is Robert De Niro? 70? Watch him kick some guy's head in on the street and he can like barely walk. I mean, that just is hard. You know?
He was like supposed to be in his 20s or 30s.
Yeah. A young truck driver who didn't know anything and he's in real life like 76 or whatever he is. I don't know. It was tough in that regard, but other than that, I thought it was a pretty good movie. Very watchable. I'm not knocking it and it sucked or anything.
Yeah, it was worth. I mean, it's good to watch. I wouldn't have put it as a Oscar movie for me, but I know a lot of people liked it, and I know that it had two actors for leading actor, Robert De Niro and somebody. But it had two, and it lost on both of them. You think about it, it's like they actually had it set up to one of them to win, and they did. Peanut Butter Falcon. I know that Diamond talks about that all the time. I do plan on watching that. I've got to add that to my list because there's been a few people that said that movie was good. So that is a movie I need to watch. I need to watch that because let's see, Richard Jewell. That's on my list to watch.
Yeah.
I just haven't watched it yet. Okay, what about
this is why we don't need cams because there's so many good movies to watch. We can never catch up. Now, with cams, just catch up on the ones that are out there in good quality. There's so much out there.
Yeah, there is. But you got to pace yourself now because we're going to hit a dry period from March till about June is going to be a dry period of good releases that you haven't already seen that came out in January. So pace yourself a little bit. But I tend to try to watch a lot of the Oscar stuff because I want to be able to have an idea of my opinion when I see the Oscars come out and be like, yeah, he deserved that. Or no, that movie did not deserve it. It sucked. Bad movies for this year. So bad movies that you've watched. All right. And I see Goodfellas over here wrote Lighthouse was phenomenal. For me, Lighthouse sucked. And oh my God, first of all, when it's an American English film and I have to keep subtitles on so I can tell what the hell they're saying, That's in strike. Number 2, it was in the black and whitish film, which, okay. I liked Nebraska, which was in that. I actually liked Nebraska, so I could handle that. But the storyline was, I couldn't keep up with the storyline. I'm thinking, where's this going? And I don't know. To me, I watched it till the end only because I watched an hour of it and I felt I've got to figure out why it's nominated for an Oscar. Why the hell is it nominated? I didn't like it. Again, a lot of people liked it because it was nominated. But what's it? What was his name? Oh, shoot. The guy from Platoon. The bad skin. It's a big actor. Why can't I think of his name? He plays in The Lighthouse. But it drive me crazy. But
Willem Dafoe.
William Dafoe. William Dafoe. Willem.
He's missing an eye.
You can't understand when he's talking. I ain't lying. I had to leave subtitles on. I could not tell what the hell he was saying. And I couldn't figure out if they were like in the Canada or if they were in the northeast. I wasn't sure, but his accent, but some people liked it. Knives Out. A guy I work with, Forrest, that I work with, loved the movie. I thought this is a boring ass Clue. It just to me was not Knives Out. I was just whatever. That wasn't me. Rocket Man. I had seen. Did you watch Bohemian Rhapsody?
I did. I watched both of them.
All right. I loved Bohemian Rhapsody. And then I watched Rocket Man, thinking that I was going to get the same type of movie in Rocket Man that I was getting in Bohemian Rhapsody. And basically, I got a musical. And that was, I don't know, when he's doing some of this dancing, I'm not a musical guy. So when it's basically a musical, it's got to be great for me to stay in it. So Rocket Man to me wasn't that great. Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. When it started, like you said, when it started becoming like a musical type movie, I started to almost regret picking it. But I stuck it out, and it actually, it actually got pretty good. And, it was a look into his life, it took I think a pretty deep dive into his life. Yeah. And I thought it was pretty good overall. I mean, it wasn't like you said, it wasn't what I was expecting, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah. And I like the music. Good. I mean, I love the music. I mean, I enjoy his music, so that aspect I liked. But different aspects, like when he was playing the piano and he's floating, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? When he was a little kid and he's singing and his whole family, I'm like, what? What are we doing here? Yeah.
And when he walked into that meeting with the big bird suit on and stuff, that was hilarious.
And I'm thinking, I mean, I could see him doing that though. I was like, that makes sense. But then when he was like, I don't know, so I'm not going to go into it, but it wasn't me. The report, who it's based on the U.S. Their torturing of ISIS, or ISIS and Al Qaeda prisoners, and how they did waterboarding and this and that, and the government, how they had some whistleblowers that are trying to get the information on that. It was okay. I guess if you're a history buff, you might really like it. A bit on the boring side for me. And like I said, Lighthouse was fun. Now, I haven't seen, okay, so Fire TV Guru says Cats, Honey Boy, 21 Bridges, John Henry, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood were all terrible. And that's just off the top of his head, which I haven't seen. I want to watch A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I haven't seen 21 Bridges. I haven't seen Cats. I haven't seen Honey Boy. So John, I haven't seen none of those. So I'm kind of, do I want to?
Okay,
Yeah.
Raccoon City is saying lube is better. What is? Oh, grease is the word. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
We don't want to go there.
So yesterday, one of the people I worked with said yesterday was really good. He watched it and he said it was really good. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, looking forward to that one too.
I just hadn't sat down and watched it. I know that everybody hates cats and cats got a lot of bad um, press. And actually, I saw where the actors were during the Oscars were cracking on it. They were making fun of it during the Oscars when they were doing a nomination or something, and they cracked on that how bad it was. But then the special effects people said that they were in a crunch and only had like less than 2 months to create all the special effects to go on because the actors acted with the little dotty suits. You know what I'm talking about? The suits that's got little dots. And then the special effects people had to create the special effects that went on them to make them look like a cat. So that was one of the special effects people said, you know, I was working 80 hours a week trying to make this movie and we were in a crunch. We weren't given the time or the money to make it really good. So it was kind of interesting that, you know, the special effect guys like, hey, we did what we could do when we could do it. So we got that. So that's movies. So any other movies that you would say really sucked or was really good that you would suggest people to watch or to avoid?
Um, we watched Zombieland Double Tap.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It still had the what was it, Korean subtitles? I
yeah.
don't know. I can't read any of those languages. It was something Asian with the symbols. I don't know which one, but could have been Chinese.
I think it was
Uh,
Korean. I think you're right. I think it was
Korean.
Korean
Yeah, I think it
subtitles.
was Korean. And it was a fun watch. It wasn't as good as the original one, but
No,
it had
correct.
some good moments. It was entertaining.
Yeah, it was. It had some funny parts. Not as good as the original. Which how many times does that happen when you have a sequel?
Yeah.
So
There
definitely
was one that I don't think got the greatest reviews, but that I thought was hilarious was Jexy.
Jexy.
Yeah, it's got Adam Devine in it, and he gets a new phone, and it's got this new instead of Siri or the Android AI, it's got this AI called Jexy, and it's
Okay.
messed up. And it like tries to ruin his life, and it's just hilarious. It
So
was, I wasn't expecting much, and so I was pleased. But if I had expected like this fantastic movie, then I might have been disappointed. But there were some very good guest appearances in there,
okay.
and if you just want to laugh, that's a good movie. Very good movie.
So is it Jexi? Is that how I see? LG said it was good.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll look that up.
Yeah, I'm
Um.
telling you, I cracked up so much watching that movie, and there were parts where it was cheesy, but
Mhm.
there were some parts that were just hilarious. It was
Yeah.
it
I'll have
was
to check
fun.
that. I'll check that out. Fire Guru said 6 Underground was good. I thought 6 Underground was good.
Yeah.
I did not set it up on a high bar, so it was good. Maybe if I wasn't expecting a lot. So a lot of times if you don't expect a lot, like you said, if you don't expect a lot, it's a decent movie. It's like that was worth a watch. But I didn't have I liked the comedy of Six Underground. I liked the little whimsical, the funny parts in it. That to me was a great point to it. So I'm gonna jump over here. We'll show you about the Kodi library. Because like I said, we were an hour and 20 minutes into this. So I'm gonna go into the Kodi library. So all right, so I'm gonna show. Let's jump over. Let me share my screen. Oh, entire screen. Boom. Okay, so we've got this. I'm gonna boom, let's make it full screen. And I'm going to go over here. So this is my Trakt. And I'm going to do a simple thing to show you. If you watch my Trakt video where I talk about how to create a Trakt list, this is my Oscar movies and TV shows in HD for 2020. And I made this list so that I could quickly pull the list on one of my add-ons to see what I wanted to watch. And so makes it real easy to add it in there. And here's all the movies. And, you can, I've not watched all of these, of course, but makes it easy for you to look. And I even added like the, some of the animated, like this Hair Love, Claws, which is worth watching. I liked Claws. Some of this like Daughter and all this stuff. So we have this. This is the Oscars. So I'm going to show you how to add into this. So we're going to look up. You said Jaxi, Jexi. So it's this movie right here. All right. So that's the movie that you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to add a list, and I'm going to go down to. Now, I could add it to any of these lists. These are all lists I have. I could add it to. I'm just going to add it to Oscar movies now. And I also could add it to more than one movie, one list. I'm just going to add it to that list. I'm going to close that. So now this movie is in my Oscar list for Trakt. So I can pull that list.
Well, I don't think it's going to win any Oscars, but yeah, I
but
get your point.
It makes it easy for me to find it. It's going to make me easy for me to find it. And also to show people how easy it is to add that stuff. And if you go back and again watch that other video I made, make a Trakt list. It's really, really convenient. Let's minimize that. Let's make this big.
I'll just say one thing.
Yeah.
About Jexi is that if you're a geek and you like into your phone, you'll probably enjoy it a lot more than if you're not.
Okay. Well, most people nowadays are. So I'm going to go through. There was a few things that I found that worked very well with your library. In your library, what can happen is with certain add-ons, I can add them to my Kodi library. Now, for my add-on, for my build, I have things in the library only so that the movie tab and the TV show tab comes up, and I just put them in there. Okay. So
I like that background you have. That's pretty dope.
Thank you. Yeah, that's that was one off of I got that from DeviantArt. There's an artist that did, and I actually paid for this background because it was so pretty, and I was like, you know what? It was like $2. I'm like, yeah, $2.
That's worth it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's really nice.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of art by this guy. If people use my build, you can actually go to a folder. I have a shortcut in the file manager, and you can pull different art and add it to your build. And I have a whole list of art that he did, and it's just really neat. So I'm gonna go down here let's go to video add-ons, and I'm gonna start with Venom. Venom, to me, does the better job. Fen can do it, and I've done with Jarrell. Saren does not do a good job of adding it to my library. I didn't really like the way that it did it to the library. But I'm going to go into Venom, and I have my Trakt is already added to this. Okay. And so I'm going to go down here to the library, Venom library. And it gives me some options, my settings, the TV folders. And then here's my Trakt accounts. Okay, here's all the Trakt, which was one of the things I like. I can actually pick a certain list from Trakt, whereas not Jarrell gives me like import my movie collection or my watch list. Venom gives me, I can actually pull a certain list. Okay, and all Exodus forks will have a movie folder, and you can, if you go into the settings, let's see, library, and you can see here it is. It tells you this is where it's going to be looking for my library. It's going to be basically your Kodi folder, user data Kodi folder, add-on data, then for Venom, and then it'll have movies. So that's where it's going to put my list. So I'm going to go here to, whoops. So I'm going to tell it I want to import my movie list. Now I've linked my Trakt account already to this. I'm not going to show you how to do that. It's a pretty easy, click it and authorize it. And these are my lists that it sees for movies. This is the ones that it sees. I should have saw some more in that, but I'm gonna click on this Oscar movies. Okay, which I'm wondering if it's not. I can't remember which Trakt account I'm linked to. I bet I'm not linked to my main one. So I'm gonna click that, and it's gonna say yes. Okay, so what it's doing is it should be. So let me go to the movie folder, 1917. I bet you. Hold on, let me pause and link to my other. I bet I'm not linked to the right account for my Trakt. So hold on a second, folks. I'm gonna remove my string for a second. Let me link it back to the right account because I've got like 4.
So I guess while you're trying to get that linked,
yep.
I'll have a comment.
Yep.
And I don't mean to knock Venom, but it's just something that people should know. If you use Jay Sergio's add-ons Adult Swim or Cartoon Network, I don't know what it is, but Venom Repo has a different version, and I know it came from the Eldorado GitHub, but it's one that not everybody else is using. Like everybody else is using like 3.03 of meta handler, and they're using like 3.99.02. And for some reason, Jay Sergio's add-ons break if you update to that meta handler version.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. We looked it over and didn't see anything wrong with it, so updated it, and then Adult Swim like stopped working, would not load. Cartoon Network, same thing. I rolled it back to 3.03 and everything worked again. So I don't know what's up with that or what the deal is, but hopefully they can get that ironed out. But it is a good add-on. I've tried it. Just wanted to point that out. So if
that's a valid point.
And they go open Adult Swim and wonder why it isn't working, that's your reason.
I don't use Venom on my regular setup. I found the only reason I mentioned this is that I found that it did a really good job with this library setup. But I know that it uses the open scrapers, I guess.
Yeah.
So so that's a very good point. Good point.
Hey, did you look through the comments? We have some new guests.
No, I got this. I got this open, so I can't see nothing.
Well, there's some chick named Blue who joined just a few minutes ago.
Oh, hold on, let me make sure.
And I was like, how long till Todd notices that you're here? I was gonna start a betting line, but
no, to tell you, I don't. Sometimes when I get doing the show, I ain't paying attention to that stuff. Hey, babe. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so if she wants to join the show, you Kodi1 can join the show. Any of them can join. So hold on a second. Let me make this the full screen. Okay, so what I did is now I've linked it to my other Trakt account. So we're gonna go to. I heard me a little bit. All right, so here's my import my movie user list. Now this is all of my list for my one account, and you can see there's my 4K movies. We should see the Oscar movies, TV shows HD 20, which was you saw that in the other one. Do we want to undo this? So it should start importing the lists. So what it's going to do is it's going to look at all the movies that are in my Trakt account. It's going to start pulling those in and add them to the library for my Kodi. And this is a really good thing if you are watching TV shows. You can add them to your library. It makes it really easy to find it in your library. You could do that or add it to your favorites. I don't know why it's hanging there. There it goes. So now you can see it's adding those movies. And I could also add, you can add, you should add some of these shows to the TV folder. I'm not sure how it'll do that because I had in the Oscars, it has TV and it has movies. So I'm not sure. We'll see once it gets done. I'm pulling this in. Again, it's doing this automatically. If I had a shorter list, it would already be done, but it's pulling this. So I'll let it finish. But I could have moved just my collection or my watch list. But I'm going to do this list here and it should have added, what was that movie? Jexy? All right, making sure that I didn't, wait, hold on a second. I don't hear you. Oh, I didn't mean to remove you. I didn't mean. All right, there's see that.
Now? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't mean. I must have clicked off.
I thought it was my end, honestly.
Maybe. I'll take the blame for it. Okay, so now I have my movies. This movie tab is for movies in my library. So we click it. We should. No. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. So this is. Let me show you what we've got to do. One other thing I got to do. That was my dummy there. So we need to add Venom's movie folder to the library. So we go down here to System. I think it's under System, second one. No. Services? No. Oh, how about Media? Duh. Okay, so here's I go to Media. Now here is where I want to add, I can add folders. I can add things to it. So I'm going to say I want to manage a video. And so what it's going to say is it's going to say, okay, so we need to know where this folder is that you're going to add media to it. So I'm going to tell it to add videos. I'm going to browse it. And I'm going to go to my Kodi home folder. Now, when I hit home folder here, this is my Kodi folder. You can see add-ons, cache, my builds, this and that. I want to go to user data, app data, and we should see Venom in there. There's Venom. You see the two folders I have. So I'm going to hit the movies folder. We can see all the movies that are in there. I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm just going to say movies. I'm going to call this Venom. You don't have to change the name of this. You can leave it just the way it is because this is just my media source so that I'm able to tell later. Hit OK. Now, Kodi doesn't know what's in that folder. Is it music? Is it videos? Is it what? It doesn't have any idea. So I'm having to tell what's in this directory. This directory contains movies. You see, I could choose TV shows. I could music videos. I'm going to say TV. Movies are in separate folders, which they are, and that matches the movie title. I'm going to hit OK. Do I want to refresh all the information that is in that? So what it's going to do is it's going to scan that stuff. And as you see up here, it's grabbing the information. It's grabbing the IMDb information for each of the movies that's in that folder. And you would do the same thing for TV. If I added TV shows to that Venom, I would do the same thing. You'd basically set up. Once you set it up, though, it's done. You don't have to do it every single time. You're just wanting to add it. So because I've basically told it, let's just do it for TV shows. Add a video. I'm going to browse, home folder, user app. Because I'm not sure if it added TV shows in there. No, it didn't. It didn't add TV shows. Because I had TV shows in that list, so it didn't add them, but I was just curious. If it had TV shows, it would have been here, and we don't see any, so I'm not going to worry about that. Let's go back to the home. Now, we should see movies in here. And these are all in my library now. Those are all in my Kodi library, easy to keep up with. I could click right from here and it will play with Venom because that's what I have set it up with, because that's how I pulled it in. If you use Open Meta and did this, I could tell it what add-on I want to open these particular links with. So gives you different options, but simple as that. I have added my Trakt list to my Kodi library. Simple stuff. And you can create this customized list very easily, and it's in there. If I go to my movies, boom, there they all are. And I could go through it and pick what I want to watch. And again, you can do the same thing with TV shows, which is really helpful if you're following certain TV shows, to add TV shows to your library. Some add-ons will let you right click or pull up the context menu. You can actually add it to the library. What you will need to do though, let me try one thing there. I'm going to go to TV shows. Let's try something with Jarrell, just to show you how to add something to a library. This is not with Trakt, but I could do this with Trakt. This is just inside Kodi. And why is all right. So let's say I want to follow this one. So I want to go and I'm going to add this to my library. Now I don't know if Jarrell is added in the shortcuts. Let's look here. Yep, there it is. And the reason why Picard shows up right away is because I had already done the steps on my build that I showed you guys just a minute ago. If you looked in here under videos, this TV shows, that is probably the Jarrell's TV folder. So let me pull up the edit. I bet you. Let's see. I bet you this. And that's why it was already set up. If it doesn't show up, you just need to go through the steps that I went through and add it. But that's why it was already in there. I've already had that. I've already basically created a shortcut in the video sources, and I told it anything that's in there is a TV show. Let's see, plug-in video. Let's see. Yep. See, Jarrell. So that's why you saw that automatically. If I added something via another add-on, you would not see that unless I add it as a source. Like I could go into Saren and I could add something, if that makes sense. Yeah, I could go and right-click, add it to the library. I just need to make sure to go into System, go into Media, and make sure to add it as a source. Okay, and that's, again, it may sound silly, but it just makes it easy to find what you're wanting to watch, how you're wanting to, what you're wanting to watch, when you want to watch it. Makes it very easy. Library feature is really good. Like I said, for TV shows, it's really good. It puts a little check mark beside it. A lot of people like Trakt for that reason, but just could be really cool. So, and I see Diamond posted in this, and this is true. When you did see my thing, when you saw where I had the link, you saw it said special : // you got to have that special in there if you're creating a build for other people. If you're not creating this for anybody else, don't worry about that. But if you're creating it for people to share, you have to have it, because my path, if you saw it, says dabs, portable, blah, 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 blah. That you're not, when you install it on an Android device, it's not going to be dabs, portable, whatever. So just keep that in mind. If you're doing this for other people, you need to make sure to use the special. And if you look around, there's lots of information about that if you're wanting to create a build. If you're not creating a build, don't worry about the special part. So let's see. So did that make sense? Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. One of the other things that I was going to bring up was, did you see the thing about Troy Point?
I had heard that his YouTube channel got closed.
Gone. 260,000 subscribers gone.
Ouch.
And in the thing today, he says they even went back to 2018 and gave him a strike for something he created, an Exodus video he did in 2018. So basically, they gave him 3 strikes, and once you're 3 strikes, they cut you. So we all have to be careful when you're making videos about this type of stuff, about streaming options. You have to be careful. That's one of the reasons why I try to be careful about what I show people. He says he didn't show content, but you've got to be really careful with this, and that's why I had what was that other one that I used there for a while? That porn's Coco Scope. I had some videos on Coco Scope because I knew that YouTube was gonna smash me for it. So I did it a little bit differently. So yeah, he got his channel shut down, and they basically said they're not going to give it back to him. Said we looked at it. Yeah, no, you broke copyright. You broke. What was it? What is it? How do they say? They said their user. He broke their user content restrictions. So yeah, gone. So hate it for him. I know he's starting all over, and he's got a website and this and that, and I'm sure losing 260,000 subscribers probably, that's going to be a pain. I know I've got 8 or 9,000. I'm sure I would suck to lose them, but you got to be careful what videos you make. People that are doing YouTube, you got to be careful about what you show, and try to keep it, stay under the radar. That's why most of my videos are not monetized. Most of my stuff, they limit my monetization anyways. So you got to be careful of that stuff. And that's probably why you see less and less YouTubers doing stuff on Kodi or APKs, because YouTube will shut you down and they don't care, because they're more concerned with Paramount, 21st Century. They're more concerned with those people than they are you. And so for them to shut you down, even if you got 250,000 subscribers, so what? You're not giving them money like 20th Century Fox is. And they want 20th Century Fox commercials showing. And so that's what it comes down to. So hate it for him. Hopefully, I know that he's trying to get his channel back, or creating a new channel. So if you're a follower of Troy Point, you may want to look up that and find out where he's at now. And he's got a new, it's like Troy Point TV or something like that.
Well, we're on the subject of YouTube. I'll take the opportunity here to just ask if there's any YouTubers that are watching. I have noticed the crew has asked not to have reviews on YouTube and exposure on YouTube. And I have seen some build reviews popping up for builds that are in the Crew Wizard. Please remember that the group has asked not to do reviews on YouTube. And if you have any, please pull them off. And we hate to go in there and start, begging or getting nasty. I don't want to do drama, but we just ask. We want to keep a low profile so that we don't acquire a big target on our back, and can keep on pumping out the stuff for you guys. And so help us stay off the radar, please.
Yep. Good point. Yep. And again, I see people all the time posting, on websites and stuff. And it's like, if they don't want to be posted, why post them up there? I mean, it's not hard. Just stay away from it. So, yeah, you're a good point on that. Cord cutting, and then I think there was something you wanted to show. I don't know if you still want to show it. There's something you were talking about. If you want to, one of the things, cord cutting, and I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna share this. Let me see. How do I make this screen bigger? Okay. Let's take a look at it. So I was looking at this. I had read somewhere else earlier in the year, or earlier this year, about cord cutting and the cost and how much. And this is basically the millions that are paying for cable TV / satellite TV. It's 2013 showing 100.5 million subscribers to satellite or cable TV. And that was in 2013. And in the, well, they got it projected out to 2023. But between that 9 years to 2020, well, we're 2020. So that'd be 7 years. They've already lost nearly 20 million subscribers from satellite and cable TV. So that you're talking 20 million subscribers. That's about 20% of your subscribers you no longer have. So if you think about it, there's more households in the US every year, right? As people get goes. So you would think that the number would be going up, but it's actually dropping. So if you go through some of these numbers, it's right at about, over the last few years, it's 4 million subscribers a year they're losing. 2017, 94,000 or 94 million, excuse me, 94 million in 2017. 2018, 90 million. 2019, 86 million. 2020, 82 million. So they're losing at a rate of 4 million subscribers a year, basically cutting the cord. And here is non-pay TV households have basically went up. It's going up almost the same rate that it's going down for paid TV. So there is a humongous number here. Has on here showing you the last 3 years or the last 2 years. It's counting 2020, but basically a 4 million hit every year. It's also showing OTT viewers, which OTT viewers is people that are paying for Hulu or Netflix, or it says down here YouTube or Sling. You can see it's went up. 2018 was 170 million. Now, some people may have multiple services, so that's why you're going to see the number so much higher, because you'll have people with Hulu and Netflix, or Hulu and Sling, or whatever. So it could be multiples. In 1 year, it went up 12 million viewers from 2018 to 2019. 12 million subscribers. Then you went from 2019 to 2020, where it went up about 9 million subscribers. And this is why you're also seeing everybody getting into the paid service business. Disney and ESPN and what's the CBS one. Everybody's wanting to get into this cord cutting arena, because your traditional satellite and cable TV is going away. People want options. People want to do something a little bit different. They want it when they want it, not when you're going to show them what's going to. So you'll see a humongous number. So you're also going to see the thing about when you see these the people that are paying for TV going down, the cost to the cable / satellite companies is going up for the channels that they're buying or they have.
Well, Todd, if you back up a little bit to that long-term graph that you had up before, where it projected out to 2023, you can see, and one thing I'm thinking that corresponds with that lowering number of cable and satellite subscribers, and I'm one of the ones who dropped off over the last couple of years, is that prices continued to go up, up, up.
Yes.
And relative wage, in regards to cost of living and inflation, stagnated, and more people are like, man, I can't even afford this anymore. It's like $200 a month. This is ridiculous. Now, I think I was a DirecTV customer for a long time, like from the beginning. And I always expected, the way they build it when they first came out, I was expecting that they would evolve into more of a pick your channels a la carte kind of a service. And if they'd
Right.
have gone that route, I think they'd be in much better shape right now,
Okay.
because we're paying for stuff. Like, for instance, I don't watch, like Home Shopping Network.
Yep.
There's a lot of channels I could say that about,
Yep.
that I'm never going to watch. And we're paying for that whole big package of stuff.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
And if there's any good stuff, they want you to pay like extra for it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and I don't know if you watch. There's a guy I follow on YouTube called Tyler the Antenna Man, and because I have an antenna, and he gives a lot of information about antennas and stuff. But he also did a video, and I shared it in a couple months back, about how media companies work and why the cost of satellite and cable TV has went up. And part of the problem is there used to be lots and lots of different companies. Okay, so you had ABC and NBC and ESPN and the history and this and that. You had all these separate companies. Okay, they're all separate media companies. So when those media companies would work out a deal with, I'll say DirecTV. They would go DirecTV. DirecTV could say, I want this channel, this channel. Now, let's say, for example, ABC had the History Channel. So ABC would say, well, you know what? You want the ABC channels, but you're also going to have to pay for the History Channel. And if the satellite company did not want to pay, DirecTV didn't want to pay for the History Channel, then ABC could say, you know what? We selling this as a package. You have to take the History Channel if you want ABC channels. And if you remember, DirecTV had an issue with Fox for a while, where some of the DirecTV lost Fox stations because Fox was strong-arming the satellite company, saying, you've got to buy all these other channels. When you want Fox, you're going to have to also buy these other channels we own, because we need to sell you the History Channel for $1, and the Home Shopping Network's going to cost you $1, and you're $1 for all these stations that you may or may not want, but you got to get them if you want Fox, because we own them too. So what's happened now? ABC, Disney owns a humongous chunk now. They own so much. They own ESPN. ESPN, Tyler talked about it. ESPN is the number one, the highest costing channel for cable and satellite companies. It's like $9 a month for ESPN. Now, if you watch ESPN or you don't watch ESPN, you are paying for ESPN. Okay, so you're paying for that $9 a month, part of your bill. $9 a month goes to ESPN/ABC. So no cable company or satellite company is going to give you a satellite or cable service without ESPN, because how many of their customers are going to throw a fit because you don't have ESPN? So they have to pay it. Well, ABC, Disney can also say, well, you know what? You're also going to need to buy Disney and the Disney Channel, and you're going to need to buy Home Shopping Network, HSN, whatever other stuff they own. You're going to have to also buy those channels we're going to give you a deal. We'll give it to you 50 cents a piece, but it's going to be 50 cent, 50 cent, 50 cent, 50 cent. Since we own 40 of those companies, ESPN's going to cost you $9. ABC is going to cost you $3 or $4. Then we're going to sell you all these other channels. So now all of a sudden, ABC part of your bill, ABC/Disney, may be, let's just off top line, let's say just for them, they're getting $30 of your bill, of your cable bill. So before any other things, and that's probably being conservative, they're getting $30 of your cable/satellite bill before they get any other channels, before they go talk to Fox, before they talk to NBC, before they talk to anybody else. They're already invested in $25 to $30 of cost. That goes where? To you, the person paying for it.
Right.
Now,
they still have to make profit too.
Right.
And they have overhead costs and maintenance costs on top of all of the TV channels they have to pay for. And it's just getting ridiculous.
All right. And you said this. Where was paid subscribers going?
Down.
So Disney or ABC is going to say, well, let's just say ESPN, because we know ESPN, like I said, is the highest costing one. ESPN saying, I want our $9 or $10 a month. That's only going to go up because ESPN wants every single sport and they want all this stuff, and they're paying they're paying the colleges. So as that cost is going to stay, it's not going to stay stagnant. The cost of those channels is going to go up over time. ABC is not going to ask for just $25 next year. ABC is going to tell DirecTV now that's $30 because ESPN's now costing you $12 a month, and this and this and this. But your subscribers have went down. So now we have less people paying for DirecTV, but the cost is more. So where does that cost? The monthly subscriber is going to pay more. So over time, that cost is going to people that are paying for cable TV or cable or satellite is going to go up. Is because there's less people and the cost of the product goes up, the things. So it's like a double-edged sword. You're losing subscribers as well as your costs go up.
Yeah.
And these, he talked about, there was the media companies won't allow a la carte. They fight it because let's say, for example, Home Shopping Network, like you said, mentioned that. Maybe people don't pay for the Home Shopping Network. If your satellite company says, you know what, you pick all the channels you want. You picked da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They said, you know what, Ed, your bill is only going to be $50 a month because you skipped out all these other channels. But what ends up happening is those channels will go away because there's not people paying for it. But ABC's not going to allow that because ABC has an investment in that channel. So they basically strong arm the satellite cable companies into having to buy this package. And you can't a la carte it because if you a la carte it, then those channels that we're forcing you to buy or them to buy aren't going to be there. And then that's not going to help their revenue. So the satellite cable companies are kind of like in a catch-22. They can't give you a la carte, and their cost is going up as their subscriber base is going down. So, like I said, Tyler, the antenna man, if you look it up, he gives a lot of good insight on this, and I'm glad that we are where we are on the front end, or been on the front end of cable cutting and being able to watch what we want, because it's going to get ugly for the people that are paying for cable TV and satellite. It's going to get bad. It's not going to get any cheaper. If they're not going to give you a la carte, it's going to get more. So it's going to get hard on those folks.
I'll throw something out there for people who are wanting to get rid of that $200 a month cable bill. Have your reservations. Try something like YouTube TV, along with the other media sources that we know and love. And that's only $50 a month. And you get all your local networks and a bunch of channels, not all of them, but you get a lot of sports, and you get, I believe, 6 accounts per household that can each have their own favorite lists and DVR lists, and you get unlimited DVR storage. So I had used that for a while, and that was a good transition to get away from the standard cable, for a third or a quarter of the price, depending on what package you had.
True. And I mean, for me, I'm a antenna guy. I've got an antenna that I have outside, so I get all my locals. I don't have to worry about locals, so I get them free. Other than what I paid for my antenna and the cable, the cable running into my TV, that's where my cost was. So to me, I tell people all the time, get some option, put an antenna, and if you can't do the antenna outside, get a good indoor antenna. You can get one of the Mohus or one of the Channel Masters. That they have a really nice one. It's going to cost you about $50 to get you good channels local. Get that. and then, like you said, some of these options. Sling TV is actually a good service. I actually used that years ago, and it was like $25. It has certain channels, and they give more. Hulu Plus, I know they're all into it. But you got to be careful nowadays when you're looking at all these services, because you're going to be nickel and dimed before you know it if you try to sign up for all these different things, up to that $100, $120 if you're not careful.
I
It's going to
tried
happen.
Hulu, and I found the interface kind of funky, and also they limit you to a very small amount of DVR hours, and if you want anything comparable to YouTube, you got to pay like an extra $10 a month. So yeah, the nickel and dime, yeah. And with Sling, they have like different packages, but in order to, so it looks cheap, but in order to get the complete package, by the time you add green and blue and orange or whatever their colors are, next thing you know, you're paying, at least the same as YouTube TV,
it'd be
not more.
$50. Yeah.
So, but and I say this because like not everybody is in an area where they can get local stations, like especially in rural areas. That's where YouTube TV would really be the best option. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's I will. Pluto TV is another option that people don't really check out. It's free, completely free. And it doesn't give you local. It will give you some news channels. It gives you some movie channels. Pluto TV, I highly suggest it to people that want to check it out. It's a really good option. Fire TV says Fubu. I think I tried that a long time ago. I haven't tried that in a while, so I'll have to take a look at that. Yeah, no, Kodi, because my TV, I left it off too long, and then it goes into the screensaver, and then it just like cuts itself off to save the screen. But yeah, there's a lot of options, folks. Don't pin yourself into it. And what I'll tell you, this is how I would suggest to people if you want to cut the cord and you're like you're on the fence. Get your options of whatever you're wanting, like Ed was saying, Hulu or Amazon, or not Amazon, YouTube or whatever you want to do. And go and unplug your cable box, satellite box for a week. Use just what service you're thinking about trying. Just try it. Use it and then see if after a week or 2 weeks how it works. And if you can live without it for a couple weeks, then say, now we can cut the cable. Don't cut the cord before you at least give it a test run for a couple weeks, unless you're looking for your family to have a fit, because that could happen. That can happen. So, but hey, what's that behind you?
That is a build. That is fairly recent. That is known as the Green Monster build. That came out, a little over a month ago.
Yep.
And that one, that's on the crew and the Slammiest Wizards now. That one is made cutting out TV add-ons and has no URL resolver, because they've abused their presence on Kodi and intruded on too many people's setups that the developer, or the builder I should say, of this build, I helped test it out, but I guess he just wanted to experiment and see if it could be done, and stuff would work, and it did. And I've been using it now for a while, and man, turns out you don't need URL resolver.
Well, you don't need, you technically don't need it. And like you're right about that, abusing the setup. And what was it? You've seen in some of the chats where people complained about Death Star, saying that it forced URL resolver, and then Indigo. People were complaining about that. And the problem it wasn't Death Star that created the problem. It was you had another repo on your device. And when Death Star says we need URL resolver to be updated, which that was fine, but then it was pulling that URL resolver from a website that was giving you Indigo.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't Death Star, it was something else you had on your device, because I have Death Star and it updated, and guess what? I had no Indigo on my setup because I didn't have some repos. You've got to be careful what repos you install on your devices, folks. I said that numerous videos ago. Be careful, because you are given that repo a key. If you have it on auto update, you're basically given that repo a key to your box and saying, whatever you want to install or update, here's the key.
Right.
So be
turn off
careful.
auto updates and be
Yeah, that would help.
careful what repos you install. But let me just say this. We were all newbies once, and people read things online about Kodi. They're trying to find, and especially if they haven't heard about Telegram and the groups that are really dialed in with what's going on. And a lot of people out there on the fringes who are new, inexperienced, they're going to install things that they read about and try it out. And next thing you know, they're showing up in support groups saying, I got this Indigo thing on my computer and I can't get it off, and it's like, yeah, just kind of got tired of hearing that, is basically why this build came around. And it's kind of experimental in that way, but I haven't had any issues with it. And
that's good.
Some add-ons that call for URL resolver don't even actually need it. It's just it's actually using resolve URL, but they maybe have to go back and change the install code so it doesn't call for it. And if it's pulled out at the beginning, I noticed on one, like for instance, like I think it was Magic Dragon. Don't quote me on this, but
it probably was, because it's using the Python code. It's using Python coding.
Exactly. And so when I clicked on something, I think it wanted URL resolver, but it just fell back, and something you never see came up at the bottom right that said using resolve URL to play your link. So it will just fall back to resolve URL, and you don't even need URL resolver.
Right.
So we can kiss Indigo and all that other crap that they want to do nefariously to people. We can just say goodbye to that. But it's something that people gotta get together on, and community wide decide to do. But I'd like to see it go that direction.
Yeah. Well, you can get away from it. Like I said, I know Python coding has it to where it uses both resolvers, because he didn't want to take either side, so it allowed either one. Because at the time when that was made, resolve URL was kind of new, and you didn't know if that was going to be updated and kept going. So the developer of that Python coding gave both options. And over time, resolve URL stayed going, and URL resolver basically just copies what resolve URL puts out there. One thing, and I did see that Diamond, and as he put in over here, that his repo, he changed it and put offers resolver URL resolver without Indigo. He basically made it not a dependency, which is fine. The only reason I'm not a fan of changing, because he raised the number, if I'm not mistaken. But I think that, Ed, with you guys, like you're saying, with you basically don't install repos that's going to give you a bad version. And I know that, like I said, Diamond removed the dependency to Indigo. So that's an option if people want to go that option. It gives you the option of installing it without having Indigo as a dependency. But also, like I said, be careful what repos you install, because I have Death Star and all that in it. I don't have Indigo on my setup. So usually it's an issue that you've installed a repo that you didn't need. So just be careful of that. Install what you need, because like I said, you're giving them the keys to your device. And sometimes Indigo, it is a pain to remove some. You got to go through different steps to do it. And it's not impossible to get rid of it. It's just you got to do it in the right order. If you do it in the wrong order, it's a pain. So all right, so we're gonna go ahead and close up because we've been going longer. I said this was gonna be a short show, and it's not. 2 hours.
Sorry, I should have stayed off.
No, it's all good. I appreciate you coming on. So what, Ed, you got anything to finish up with?
Yeah, well, I'll just say that while we're on this topic, I'll just go a little bit further, is that in Crew Repo, there are some tools built in that will prevent Indigo installs. There's a tool that Muad'Dib developed that's in there called F Indigo.
Yeah,
I don't know if we need to keep it clean on here or not.
Yeah.
I don't want to get you dinged. But,
Yeah. Oh, I like getting dinged.
so, and that, if you install it, will check every Kodi boot, and if Indigo's on there, it will remove it.
Yeah,
so that's one thing. But they didn't like that very much, so they pushed an update with one of their URL resolver updates that had code in it to disable the crew. So now they're like, fighting back, like, how dare you protect your users from getting Indigo by being noobs and installing bad repos. But you know what? That's going to happen. But the best thing is to educate yourself and get in some groups, ask questions, find out before you install stuff. But inevitably it happens. And as long as they're around, looking for an opening, they're going to slither through it, and get in there and put their stuff on you to make money, to get you to click on their ads. And that's really what it's about. So
yes, that's what it's about.
Feelings about it, and those are my feelings. And I just wanted to say that. So, but yeah, I'm going to have to look into that Wacko and the library stuff that you were doing. Never really messed much with that, so I'm going to look into that. And I've got a lot of movies on my watch list that I have to catch up with.
Well, and if people, I don't know, I guess you could look, they can look up the Butcher. I think I'm on Trakt. You actually can pull that list that I have, and you can. I know that you can copy some of it, but it's easy to do that. Make a list and put. Okay, all right. Well, I misspoke. Diamond says he did not raise the version number. I thought his number, because when I saw a list of the numbers, his number was higher than everybody else's. So he did not change the number from higher than the one that's already on the TVA thing. So I stand corrected. But yeah, you're right about that, because the only reason Indigo is being installed, the only reason that they're doing it is to spam people to buy a VPN. That's the only reason that they're putting it out there. They're not putting it out there to help you. They're doing it to sell people stuff, to say you're not safe because you don't have a VPN. That's the reason that Indigo is being installed on the back of URL Resolver. That's the reason. It's not because they're trying to help the community. They're trying to profit off of it. So that's the only reason. And most of us, it just ticks us off because we're all doing this to try to help people. They're doing it to try to help themselves, to help their pocket. And that's
right. And then it takes time away from us helping people when we have to help people get rid of Indigo and restore their setup without all the spam on it.
Yeah. And you can do it. It's just you got to go through a bunch of steps, and you got to do it in a certain order. And if you do it in the wrong order, it won't work. So, all right. Well, let's see. Most people don't even know. Yeah. And again, I wanted to talk about the library just a little bit. I know that when I did the Trakt, when I talked about that, people asked about the library, and I did a library video way back in Metallic days. So you can go back, and if you're using Open Meta, go back to my Metallic videos, because the Metallic, Open Meta is a fork of Metallic. So Metallic was here, and as it went through, someone took that version and made it Open Meta. So it's more like Metallic than it is different from Metallic. I show a lot of how to use that and how to set up libraries. So if you want to do that in using that particular app, you can. But hopefully, check out using your library. Using your library, especially for TV shows or that movies like I showed. Here's all the movies. It's right there. And I added that through my Trakt. And I go right to the website and can take stuff off the track list or add stuff to your track list. Simple. It's so simple. With the library, I use a lot when I'm doing for TV, a TV show. I want all my TV shows there. And then when I'm done watching a show, I right click it and remove it from my library because I don't need it no more. And it just makes it easy for me to find it. So, all right. Well, let me go ahead and close out of here. I want.
Tom,
sorry.
let me stop you for 1 second. I don't want to be in trouble. Okay, last time I came on here, I talked about a bunch of other add-ons. I'm also admin in the Telegram group for CDTV, and last time he yelled at me because I didn't say anything. But there is one thing I did want to say, and that is, if you haven't checked out Numbers in a while, he has added so much more stuff to it. It's got music, fitness. I mean, it's almost like an all-in-one add-on now. So I just wanted to mention that.
Good guy. And I've tried to get him on the show a bunch of times. He don't ever want to come on the show. I've done asked him. I'm not going to ask him anymore because I've asked so many times and he won't come on the show. So whenever he decides he wants to come on the show, he can come on the show. But I'm not. It's like you're having to beg the girl at school to go out with you, and they keep saying no. After a while, you're just like, forget it. I ain't asking you no more. But yeah, good guy, a really good guy. Like I've known him a long time, and all the cellar door products or product builds and this and that. He does a really good job on that. Beautiful work on his builds. I mean, beautiful work. I mean, sometimes I think it's a bit more for your lower end user. I think it's a bit much, but beautiful work. He does a great job. He puts a lot of effort into everything he does too.
Finish and polish on those builds. I'll tell you, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, it's not thrown together. I mean, it's definitely like a Cadillac of builds. It's I had it on one of my setup. One of my friends came and like, "Ooh, that looks so pretty." I'm like, "Well, it does." And he's like, "Well, I've got this old Fire Stick." I said, I mean, it would probably run. It's not going to run well because all those arts and then the widgets. I'm like, your little old Fire Stick's going to be just struggling with all those widgets because it's got to go and get that information. All right, well, let me go ahead and close this out of here. JJ Cord Cutter rolls up in here super late, but that's all right. Fine. You got to go back and watch the show. If there's anything I can help you guys with, again, I'm not making tons of videos. I don't want to get in trouble for YouTube, but I try to do videos that is stuff that interests me. I thought that instead of me doing another video on Trakt, talking about the library, I just talk about it here. And that makes it just as easy to talk about it. If there's things that you'd like me to talk about, I'll do my best to show you. If you're looking for me, to find me on Telegram, to Butcher. I mean, it's pretty simple to find. I've over the last 6-8 months, I've backed off Telegram a lot. I've been doing this for so long. You get to a point, you get a little burned out. And Ed's getting to that point. Ed's been around, and he was like all fired up. Now he's kind of like, I'm starting to get a little. You get a little frustrated because it's like I've answered that question 100 times. But yeah, I'll help.
I'm good.
Okay, but I'll help as much as I can. Do what I can on things. Help you guys out. If there's videos that I can do to show you guys, I will do my best. One of the things I will do over the next few days, or the next week or two, is I'll probably update my couple builds. Both my DAX builds really don't need anything other than the versions. I might go back and look at my other 2 builds that was done off some other skins. I might redo those with newer add-ons because when I made them, those were the add-ons that were being used at the time. Just to give people, they're different builds. They got a different look to them. I just like to do things that are a little bit different at times. So, let's see. Lou, I don't know if I'll do a new build. I'm what works. I know that Fanorific has been making all kinds of skins, and some of his skins I kind of thought about making a build, but I'm thinking, why? I don't know. I don't really need to. Use what I'm using. if you want something new and flashy, you got the green monster that is on the Crew Wizard. You can check that out.
Yeah, it's not too fancy. It's pretty simple. It's green and it's big, so that's why it's got the monster to it. But it's nothing too fancy or anything. But it works pretty quickly on all kinds of devices, so that's good.
That's the main thing for me. It's all about, do I get what I want to watch quickly? Like when I click, I want to click, scrape, and I'm watching. I don't want a bunch of crap loading. I'm like, I don't care about all that. Just let's go. All right. Well, thanks, Ed, for coming on. You're always welcome to come on anytime you want. And anybody else that wants to come on the show, I try to do my shows on Friday. Just hit me up on Telegram or on Twitter. You're more than welcome to come on here, talk about your builds, or talk about projects you're on, or talk about what movies you like and what you don't like. We'll talk about whatever. And we'll just see what happens, kind of just jump around. So thanks again for you guys watching. And oh, here's my shirt. Did you see this? This was my gift I got from Blue. I'd like to thank you for the gift. Yeah. So I was wearing this today. You and your Carolina Hurricanes. Yeah. Go Hurricanes. Yeah. We're pulling for them tonight. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching. Streaming matters to us because streaming matters to you. And if there's anything we can do, hit up Ed. He loves to help people.
I do. I really do.
So I'll talk.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody, and have a great weekend.
Yep. Everybody get lucky.
Yeah.